Hey, hello and welcome. It's me again, Roman, and RPA Fridays, this time session number 12. Sorry, my mistake to have 11 in the presentation. I'm Roman and I'm part of the Robot ICT company. So just briefly about us, we are a Czech Republic based company and we focus on automation in different kind of industries. We are using robotic process automation and we also have our own workflow automation software that is specialized on networks and large IT environments. I would love to, if you would love to know more about us, please find links in the description and take a look at our community. And also you can subscribe to our channel. If you love this webinar, if you liked it, then please give us a like, subscribe. This is RPA Fridays. Every week, every Friday, I will show you something from RPA technology, some nice showcase, some kind of topic that come to my mind, something that I find interesting and I would love to share it with you. Sometimes it's a little bit more technical, sometimes we have more soft topic about something not so serious, and usually I'm not going super deep into the theory. And if you have some ideas and if you have some things that you would love to know more about in RPA field, automation field, please let me know in the comments so it can be a good inspiration for me. Thank you, and let's see what I have for you today. Today, this will be a fun robot that will help you to pick a movie to watch. Imagine you have a nice evening and you are searching for what movie to watch, and you really can't find any. You are trying to ask your friends and anything, but you don't have a good idea. So this time, I will show you how to build a robot that will help you to pick a movie to watch. Later, I will put the source code in the description, but it's not there yet. Sorry. This robot will use web automation. We will be looking in a website international movie database through the Google Chrome, and I will show you twice performing some data scraping and also executing a random function. Also, we will cover some reading from Excel and data tables, because this robot will have also as an input a list of movies that you put together that you already seen. And I have this list of movies here, and I prepared it. It looks like this. I will show you in a minute. Yeah, okay. So imagine I'm watching some movies, and every time I watch it, I take the name of the movie and put it in a list like this, and maybe at when I watched the movie and what was my rating. So this will be one of the inputs. Then we will use this website, International Movie Database, and and of course UiPath to put it all together. So I hope you're ready. I hope everything is smooth, good, connection is great. So let's start. First of all, I will work with this browser. So I will use attach browser activity. Let me check it. Attach browser and put it there. And click indicate browser on screen. This one. And that's it. So I want to just adjust the selector a little bit. So if I will be trying it and going around this website, I will always go back to this. So let's keep IMDb here with yes stars, and that will take any Chrome browser with this website attached. Eventually, you can use Open browser to have this robot working from scratch, from opening the applications and then close it in the end. But I will use attach browser for this experiment. First of all, I want to actually navigate to one certain website that I found here. And this is a website from Menu that's called Top Rated Movies. Okay, because I want to watch something nice. So this website is the starting point for me. Not only because there are the top rated movies that I can search from, but also because I want to use these genres, scrape them, and give myself every time I will use this bot a possibility to pick a genre that I'm interested in to watch a movie from, right? So let me just use this this URL and put it to activity called navigate to that can be used within the browser scope. So I will hard code the link to this activity, and then I would love to perform some data scraping. So I will use the data scraping wizard to get the list of the genres. First value, I will indicate this one on the right side, from the menu, and then another one, the next one. As you can see, all the items were highlighted, all the links, and I want to also store. So I want to store this one as a name, and this one as URL, because I will then use it later. Let's see what's the result. One thing that is good to see or good to understand is that the URLs are constructed in a relative way. That means there is no www.imdb.com/search, but there is just slash and something. So once I will go to this URL, I need to put the name of the website, the rest of the URL into it. But okay, we have this nice data, and I can then go on and extract all the genres from it. So I will click finish. I will give a prompt. If we have multiple pages of data, I say no. And there I have maybe too many things created as usual. So only what I need to focus on is this activity, extract structured data. And I will cut it and paste it here. In UiPath, it's sometimes I heard some beginners complaining about that it's kind of hard to understand literally where's your cursor, because when you are cutting something and pasting it, or copying and pasting it, that's kind of hard to understand where it will go, because in usual coding you always have a cursor, right? And then you know where you're pasting your stuff. In UiPath, it's kind of hard to understand where it will go. So imagine if I will copy this activity, and then I will click just here in the space between these ones. There is no indication that I am here, but if I will paste it, it will end up here, and I will delete it, and just for demonstration, click here, just in a space between this header and this activity, and I will click Ctrl V to insert it. It will go there. So maybe this is something that UiPath can think about it and improve the user interface of it. Anyways, recap, we have a navigate to activity and the extract structured data. This one, data scraping, I don't need, and I always delete this one if I'm doing it like this. And I of course want to rename this one to understand what I'm doing, and create a new output variable here on the right side in properties. So I was given some random name here, I don't need it. I create a new variable using Ctrl K, and okay, and this variable I would call simply genres. Good. So this is a data table. It's a variable of a type data table. Okay, so my mouse is today kind of weak. Good. Data table. So now what I want to do is create a prompt, a pop-up for the user, or for me, for anyone who would use it, to show me the genres so I can pick from them. This will be similar from one of our RPA Fridays that I already did in the beginning. That was about genres of music. So this works in a similar, nor maybe saying same way. How to get all the let's say we have a you see that this is a data table, so all the genres are in one column, one underneath each other. But how to get them? So there are two ways. One was the way I explained in the past in the download random music or explore new music session, and this was using some function. But this time I want to show you it a little bit more, let's say, a simpler way. But depends if you like it. If simpler means for you that you can easily understand it, or if simpler for you is it has less activities to perform it. So this will be something that will be simpler to understand. And I need for each row in data table activity to work in with my data table that I just created with two columns. Remember, name and URL. If you're not sure how you named your columns, you can always go back to this activity and check in extract metadata here. And here is your name, and here's your name too, which is URL. and the attributes to it. It has some fun language there, but you can definitely understand from it what is it. So I extracted all the data from the website. No, not all the data, of course. Everything from this a little column on this sidebar. So let's go and put them all in one string, separated by semicolons. But why, you're asking me? Because the activity that will go on, that will be next, takes it as an input. So for this, we need to do some data manipulation. So let's continue and put here the name of the data table, f current row in genres, and create a new variable. Actually, I need a new variable in the scope that will be called genres list. It will be the variable of the variable type string, because I will just enter strings inside. And I put one assign inside this body. So maybe eventually, if you like it nice and neat, you can delete the body. If you have only one activity, it does not need to have a container. And let's name it, add genre to the list. And the list is not a variable type list, right? It's just a string. So genres list. And here I will take what's already in there and concatenate. I will make it bigger and concatenate with semicolon and then current row, and in brackets it will be name. It should be like this. We'll just double check it so I'm not doing anything wrong. Good. And then of course, when this is a cell in a data table, we need to put toString so it works. So this is how it how you can put it together. So I'm adding fields. I'm adding each cell to a string, just like a one long string. In this moment, we can eventually check what we have and try to run it once. It should be fine. So let's put a write line over there, just underneath this for each activity, which is a good practice. You should always put a couple of write lines when you're coding something and check what's inside the properties. Or in another way, another way how to do it would be to put in debug here a breakpoint in front of the next activity, and then check the variables. Oh, okay. I got lost my panel. Okay, this is fine. And then check the variables once the program stopped in that point. But I like the write line thing. It's nicer, and I can run it, which is faster. So let's put genres list in write line, and then when I run this, it will appear in the output on the right side. So let's try to run it. It should scrape all the genres, like a first step. It will take it should go to the website, navigate to this page, just for sure, and scrape it. And now you may not probably see it, but here in the right bottom bottom, there are all the movie genres that are available. Okay. Sorry. So this is fine. It looks easy. It's divided by semicolons, which is exactly what we want for the next activity. That is called input dialog, because we want to somehow make a choice. So input dialog looks like this, and it has some options. Dialog title, input label. Actually, none of them are necessary to put. You can leave it blank and it will be blank, but I want to give it some nice UI, some nice feeling. So let's say, what genre are you up to today? And the input type I will change to multiple choice. And here you see, now you see why I put together all the genres divided by semicolons, because the input options are giving me a hint that it should be separated with semicolons. So I will just put the genres list variable in it, and that's it. And then I have to somehow take output from it. So the output from this one, I will save to a new variable that will be called selected genre, and this is a type of string. Okay, so far so good. We can give it one more try, one more test. So I will just reuse the write line here. Okay, but I will change this to selected General. And just to make sure that everything is working just nice. And it will take you 30 seconds to run it and check it once again. Uh, and it's better than to just continue and to be really sure what you're going on. It's good to check it once per few activities. So cool, I have a pop-up here. What genre are you up to today? Let's say biography. Okay? Okay, so far that's all our robot is doing, but I see here in the output that biography was selected, so I can work with that. So now I have to extract the URL from the table, data table that I extracted previously, and I need to take this. So how I can do it? I can do it by using another assign, and I want to create actually a new variable where I will store this URL that would be called go to URL, let's say, yeah, assign URL from extracted inners, yeah, this, and I will go on and I will use this kind of function. I'll open it so you can see it better. Slowly, easily. So on the data table, genres, I will use a function called select that takes arguments, like one argument, it's necessary or needed only. That is a filter expression, which is expression similar to SQL expressions because it's like a kind of table. So in the brackets, because it's a string, I will put a name like this, and then in the single quotes and in double quotes, and here it starts to be funny, I will put the name of the genre, which should be, if I'm correct, selected genre. Okay, like this. So this will filter the data table based on this filter expression. And as a result, it gives me a hint here. Yeah? Check every time. Check all the hints and think about what's in the hint. It gives me a result of it's a array of data rows. So it's a numerable data type. So if I want to assign it to one single string, then I need to select. Then I need to. Okay, so I expect that we have just one result because we don't have more same called genres. So first of all, I need to select this row, the first result, like this, with just adding a 0, like a first row, and then in the row within it, then I have to address the second column, which I called URL, but also I can use indexing, so number 1. So this gives me, from all the results, first result by the 0, and then number 1 makes a second column. And in the end, I have to convert what I got to string. So this is how you do it, and it's pretty simple. And I really like this .select function because it's easy. It gives you an easy option how to work with the data table and how to filter it. Although there are activities like filter data table in UiPath that work in a similar way, I would love to show you this one because I feel that for some of the operations it's a bit simpler. But remember, for most of the basic operations, there are activities already prepared. So Roman, let's show us what's next. So this is it. And this will give me the URL. And just to prove it, and I love to prove that everything works fine, I will put it into write line, few more seconds to check it, but I will be sure that everything's fine. So I will select some other genre this time. For example, comedy. And see on the right side here, I have in the last write line the URL that corresponds to comedy, and there is a comedy within it. It's a long link with some other details that I don't care about them. So the most important for me is that so far it works. I extracted the URL from the selected genre. So now I want to go to this URL and extract the movies. Oh, sorry. Yes. So I go on the end of my workflow. Maybe I can start to delete these write lines that I don't need them because I already know this works. So I will clean it up a little bit here. Good. Input dialog, assign, go to URL. So I need to use navigate to again. Navigate to URL of the genre, and this will be https www.imdb.com, and I don't have to add the slash in the end because as I see on the right side there is already the first slash in the link, and then only I will put plus and go to URL like this. Should be fine. Yeah, good. So what will happen then is that I will be forwarded to the URL of one of these genres that I will select. You can of course test it, but I will go a little bit faster this time. So let's say biography, and this will bring me here. So the next thing I want to do is to again do data scraping, data extractions. However, we have more pages here, so I will indicate that there are more pages, and you will see the robot actually scraping page by page and getting the results from all of the pages and extracting them in a really nice manner. Well, and it will be hidden in abstraction because you cannot actually see it unless we would let's say use the right range and export it to Excel and then read it, because well, we will work with data in variables, and this, well, eventually you can check on it when you debug the progress and put a breakpoint here. Maybe I can show you later, but otherwise, unless you write it out and save it somewhere, you cannot really go so easier into a data table. So I will show you how to do it. Again, I will use the data scraping wizard from UiPath. I will click next, click on the name of the first movie, click on the second one, and I see that they are all nice and yellow. And he found all the 50 movies on the first page. Lovely. So let's call it, we just need a text, so let's also call it name, doesn't matter. It's a different, it will be different data table, and I don't need URL because, well, maybe you can then add URL, but for this purpose, to just give you a name of a movie to watch, you don't need URL. So this is the result of the first page, and I want to take all the pages because they are really good, they are really rated well, because all this is rating count at least 25,000. So this also means if there will be like a new movie and only 10 people rated for it by 10 stars out of 10, it's not in this list. So these are really solid. They have a solid reviews, these movies. Anyway, so I leave here in maximum number of results 0 because I want all, and click finish. And I will get this prompt if the data is spanning multiple pages. And oh, yes, it is. So I will go down and find this magic button next and indicate it next, like this. And that's it. And I have few more unnecessary containers and scopes over there, but what I really need is this extract structured data. So I will again move it here and get rid of this. So let's also rename it so it's nicer. Movies. Okay, that was nice. And I also want to put here in properties, there is a target and there is timeout. And this timeout in this activity, I mean, in all activities, there is timeout and it's by default 30 seconds. For example, a click activity waits and tries to find an element for 30 seconds, and then once it's UiPath is unable to find it, it just drops it, throws an exception and stuff like that. But here the timeout means that this is the amount of time that it will wait until the last next button is found. So if the last, if there is on the last, if you're on the last page, right, there is no next button. That means you're on the last page. But then the robot waits these long 30 seconds, and of course I don't want to waste your time, so I'm going to put 4,000, let's say 4 seconds, 4,000 milliseconds here, so it goes faster. And there is one error. We need to create a data table. Let's call it simply movies. Okay, movies. Okay, we have few more steps. This here it will start to be a little bit more complicated. First of all, I need to know how many movies are there, so I can put a random number to pick from. Yeah, so let's say there are 400 movies, and I want a random movie, so I will create a random number and then pick that movie of that number. So I want to put a new assign here. Okay, that was faster than I expected. And let's rename it so it's understandable. Total number of movies, of those from our search. And I will create a new variable, total movies, let's say. And of course, it's a number, so I need to change the variable type here down in the variables to integer, in 32. And then, how to get the number of the movies? Well, it's a data table, so we have to count all the rows. It's pretty simple, and it goes like this: movies dot rows dot count, and that's it. Easy like this. So now we have the movies from the website, and one thing I want to do is to compare them with and to find if I haven't seen this movie already. So I have this seen movies file opened here, and I want to search in it. So how I will do it? Now, first of all, I have to read the content of this file. So I will use read range from workbook activities, this second one. Beware, they look the same, but they are not the same. And I will navigate to the file, seen movies. Oops, it's in use. Okay, so we have to close it. No problem. I know you've seen, and I know what's the structure. It's the same structure as the data table before. It has a name, and then it has the rest, the movies, in the first column. We don't care about any other column. Anyways, I will leave this empty to get all the data. I don't really care. Movies. And now the magic. So this will be, I want to, in case, okay. So the robot will pick some random number from all the amount of the numbers, pick the movie accordingly, and then check if the movie does not exist within the movies from my Excel sheet. So there are 3 steps that will happen in a loop. First of them is to get the random movie from all the movies. And then it's actually 2. And the second one is to search in the data table that I have from the read range from the movies, seen movies. Yeah, we have to actually create a data table here, so that's a good thing. Seen, I call it seen movies, like movies I have seen already. So we will search. It will search in this and return as a result um, if the movie was found. If the movie was found, it will return the movie itself, and if not, it will return empty string. I will show you how to do it. First of all, I need to build a do while loop, and this will be really like one of the last steps. So we're getting to the end, but I admit this time it's kind of long. But in the do while, which we can name like do while unseen movie is not found. I'm not sure if this will make sense. I will assign the random movie. So let's pick the movie. Assign random movie, and also create a new variable for this one. Random movie, which will be a string. And on the right side, I will perform a similar step like I did before with well, no, not similar. Okay, different one. So I want to go to the data table movies and get the, and now in the brackets we put index of a row. So I want to get this index correctly, and I want to have some random number. So I will use a function called random next that works like this: new random brackets dot next and brackets, and these have 2 parameters, min value and max value. So if you put only one parameter, it will go from 0, but I want to be sure that it goes from 0, which is the first movie, and then the max value will be total movies. We know it, -1. -1 because we count a total amount of movies, but we are indexing from 0, so it will be always shifted by 1. So eventually, by accident, if it will pick the, let's say, total movie number, the same, the one, it should be fine. But maybe this is actually, I'm not sure if this is included the second parameter. Maybe you can correct me. Maybe I'm wrong in the end. Anyways, I can be wrong. I'm not an expert. So anyways, let's finish this one. So this will give me a random movie, and I want to take the name from it. So again, a zero, like a first column, an only column, and convert it to string. Yeah, that's it. And it should give me a random movie. And now I want to check if the random movie is not yet here in the table. I'm not sure if this is already okay. I can open it from different project where I already solved it, and I tried. So it doesn't matter. It will still work. So I want to check if this name of the movie is not in it. I mean, it can we can hardly check it. I can hardly demonstrate. I would have to have a lot of movies here. Yeah, okay, maybe how it works. But anyways, how to do it? I will demonstrate it by using look up data table activity. It has a lot of options and a lot of things to set up. It's a activity to search. It works in a similar way as before I was using select, but it takes few more arguments. It has some kind of it has more outputs, and it's rather complicated, if to be honest. So follow me on the right side to properties if you are working with me. And let's go one by one. So data table that I want to search in is my data table with the movies I have seen. So seen movies. And the next thing I want to set up, and I will just double check it, is a lookup value. So this is what I'm searching for. So I'm searching if my random movie is not there yet. And I can also specify in what column I want to search. So, well, eventually I'm searching in the column name. That's the column here, yeah, name. And it the last things I want to set up is the target column. The target column thing is it's described when you hover it. It says if the target column is set, it also returns the value from the cell with the specified row. So if you set the column, it will give you back a cell from that column. So that's how you actually find out the if there is something or not. I believe so. So the column name will be name because we want to retrieve the value of name. And the output that I will fill in is the cell value. And let's call it found movie, if there is any found movie. I hope. Yeah, random movie, found movie. Okay, all the variables, I hope so far, make sense. So the condition, that's one of the last step, would be to repeat uh, this loop unless found movie that is not here yet because it was created for a scope called do, but I wanted to sequence, let's say. No, nope. Okay, second try. Uh, Here, found movie. Okay, this was it. Let's put it here. Scopes. A found movie is not equal to nothing. So if there is something, if there is a movie found, it will fill the variable with that movie that has been found, and it will try to pick another random movie with another random number. And till the moment it will not it will till the moment we don't have a movie that is not present in this list, it will repeat and repeat. But as you can see, our list is quite short, so it should work as expected. And the last thing is to display a message box with a lovely recommendation for a movie. And I hope everything will work just good. Message box. There we go. Movie to watch and random movie. Oh, it's not there. Okay. All these scopes are sometimes tricky. So I have to move the variable random movie from the scope body to at least scope do, which is like the one inside the browser, to have it accessible here. Okay, there I go. Last random movie. So there are no errors whatsoever, and it looks all good. And as I said, later I will upload the code, and you can download it. I download it. So those who are watching this from recording, you should be able to find it in the description. I will maybe make a note here. So I want to, and let's try to run this one and see how it works. Run file. But if you followed me, you don't have to. You don't need that code, actually. So let's see what we have there. It works now in the background, which is fine. And it should prompt, yeah, what genre are you up today? Okay, I will maybe minimize this one. And I would choose something that does not have so many movies. So for example, biography. And we should be able to see the movie, the robot, to scrape all the movies from this genre. So it will go here and go to the next page. See, well, and my hands are here. I'm not doing anything. It's magic, and go to through all the pages. Once it's on the end, it should take just a while because we have only 392 titles in this category or in this genre. It will wait for long 4 seconds and pick a random movie. Check with the file. Oh, and there we go. There we have it, a movie to watch. This Boy's Life. Then it's only up to me to go to this movie. But eventually, if I would scrape the URL before in the second data scraping, I can forward the user to the page of the movie, for example, or continue with something else. Or maybe search on if it's available on some streaming service or on I don't know where you can buy the movie, where you can watch it, right? So it's a simple robot that maybe you can use in your daily life in some, and it's a fun project to try and to learn how to filter things, how to pick random fields or well random rows from the data table and so on. So I hope that while you watch this, you learn something new. And now is a space for your questions. I know that I did not mention it in the beginning this time, but every time, and now you can actually ask me some questions. And now I'm thinking that meanwhile you are thinking about your questions, and we have a few minutes more. I will try to not screw this, and I will try to demonstrate how you can actually access the variables. For example, this one, scene movies, uh, without needing to let's say extract them to open Excel. So I will put a breakpoint here and repeat everything we did before, and you will see, and I will show you where you can find the content of the data table whilst are you debugging. Sorry for my English today. So debug file, and it will work a little bit slower and repeat. But now it's time for your question. So if you have something you can think about, you can type it now. But I see that most of you are not really curious about anything particular, but no problem. You can ask in the comment later. So I will go again with, or maybe something other, history, let's say. History, okay. So, and this will work, it works in the background, all the data scraping actually, and navigate to works in the background. So unless I go here and see and show and maximize it, you cannot really see it. But there are less titles, so it should be even faster. And now UiPath took a break at this breakpoint. And on the left side here, you can see all the variables that are used. And you can also see their value. For example, here is a string random movie, and the value is null because we still did not put anything there. But we can also see the total movies here, and it's really cool. You can debug your projects here really easily, and you can even see the data table, and you can edit the data table here. Like wow, easily. And then you can leave the project to continue with altered data if you want. Or we can also take a look at another data table, this one, genres. See? So this way we can easily check what's inside the data table. And I found it really nice, neat, and easy. So that's what I wanted to show you. I see there are no questions this time, and it's fine. You can ask me later in the comments. I was happy to have you. I was happy to have you there. I was happy that you come and you watch this one. And I would love to um, invite you to our community forum, Robot ICT community forum, where that is automation forum for RPA mostly. Mostly things are now about UiPath, but we would love to welcome also people working in different tools, for example, in Blue Prism or Automation Anywhere, and new enthusiasts. We also have RPA challenges. Every week there is an RPA challenge where you can collect robot points, and they are rather easy, like let's say a coffee time project, 1-2 hours maximum, and you can always learn something new. And it doesn't matter what tool you use. You can use any tool you want. You can use Python, you can use UiPath, whatever. And that's it. This was RPA Fridays. If you would like to have more of this content, please sign up to the mailing list with a link in the description. And we will be also happy to see you as a new subscriber if you did not subscribe yet. Like it if you like it, dislike it if you didn't like it. Or maybe just tell me why you didn't like it and what I should improve. And that's it. I talked long today, 40 minutes. So that's it. I wish you a lovely weekend and see you next Friday. Happy automation. Bye.